There is a fight brewing in Wichita, one where rival gangs continue to feud with one another and one where police are trying to put a stop to it. KSN's Kevin Wheeler reports on those feuds and the methods police and community leaders are using to combat the problem in this KSN News Extra.
Like almost any city, has seen its fair share of gang violence.
People get mad at each other, I guess, and they express that in violent ways.
And some fear that violence could escalate this summer.
We will have a gang-related homicide occur this summer. It's going to happen.
Drew Palmer and his family are used to taking serene walks in this riverside neighborhood. Although it is quiet, it's not immune to gang violence.
It sounded like individuals that don't know how to resolve conflict, resolve problems.
Earlier this year, a drive-by shooting injured a man just a few doors down from Palmer. It was a gang-related drive-by.
First thought was, are you kidding me? I thought it was a joke.
The recent passionate violence from gang members is part of high-tension feuds, mainly between four gangs, the Bloods versus the Crips and the Vato Loco Boys versus Sureños.
No matter what goes on, we're going to have incidences out in the community between gang members and rival gang members.
Wichita police say while the feuding may be tense, gang violence is actually down over the last 2 years. There have been 2 gang-related homicides so far this year, compared to 10 total last year and 4 total in 2010. This year's gang-related drive-bys sit at 2 from January through March, down 1 from the same time last year. And ag assaults are down 3 as of March of this year compared to 12 last year. This 2011 map shows where the higher areas of gang crime is located. The darker the color, the higher number of recorded gang-related incidents. Compared to 2010, the violence dramatically decreased.
Ready?
Wichita's 4-man specialty gang unit is tasked with keeping up with known gang members, possible threats, and violence that's carried out. We went on a ride-along with officers Aaron Chafee and Joe Stearns to see firsthand how they are combating the issue.
This year it's kind of picked up, and so we've been trying to monitor some of the activity and where the whereabouts that the people that we know who are involved in it, try to pay attention to them a little bit more.
The officers focus on intelligence and act on what they've learned to hopefully keep something from escalating.
There are some real bad people out here, but then there are some people that have just made bad decisions.
They stop this vehicle because the passenger isn't wearing a seatbelt, but they find out a lot more about him.
He's admitting to me that, he's a gang member, but he's not out in the streets doing all that kid stuff, is what he would say.
Turns out he's a VLB, but not really an active member under their radar. Still, the officers make sure he's added to their gang database.
This is a pretty common area for VLBs.
Chafee and Stearns often keep up with messages like graffiti that might give details of gang activity.
It just kind of points us in a direction to pay attention to.
It is those tactics that the officers say is working to keep a handle on what could otherwise become a major issue. Fighting gang violence goes beyond policing. It takes the work of an entire community. Leaders point to youth activity camps and gang walks as ways of achieving that.
It's going to take a team of people in the community, people that's willing to make their city and community safer. That's what it's going to take.
But on the streets, the reality is gang crime will continue. How much, though, depends on how citizens respond.
If you have a neighborhood that doesn't care that this stuff's going on, it's going to continue to go on.
In Wichita, Kevin Wheeler, KSN News.